our defense really, without two starters for sure, and I'm not sure if we're missing anybody else, but two of our best players were out, and one didn't make the trip and the other one didn't play. But I thought our guys really played hard, tried hard, missed some assignments. It looked like on the wide stuffs, and on the cut back on the zone, and this is a good football team. You got to give them credit. They've really got a good team. They've got good players, and they're well coached, and their scheme makes you toe the mark every time, and especially defensively, especially their offense, and defensively they are solid, sound, and know what they want to do, and they obviously looked like they were in our huddle.
And Coach, we talked last week too, just the difficulty of the stretch of the season we're going through now. Tonight we just completed our third game in 12 days. That's tough on the body, tough academically. We talked last week, and had got a couple more guys dinged up on the defensive side of the ball tonight as well too. Going to be a big week just for treatment and recovery.
Right. Well, we're starting with no practice and nothing but treatment tomorrow and Saturday, and then we'll come back to our Sunday work. And you're right. It's toilous on a young man's body, and to play those many games, physical games like this one in South, and we also miss 3 days, 5 days, 6, 7 days of class in the so we sort of talk out of both sides of our mouth when we talk about TV and college football.
And Coach, the message to the football team and the post game just then was basically the same as been the last couple of weeks. Is you still got something to play for. Now it's down to 3 games left on the season. Good thing is 2 of the 3 are at home, and the road trip, if we work and can get some people healthy, there's some winnable games of those 3.
There's no question about it, and of course the premier team coming in will be ULL at the end, but these other 2 teams are guys like Georgia State and Idaho, and they're like us. They're struggling, trying to find their way, and But I was proud of our defense. I'm going to tell you now that's a difficult task. They shouldered tonight without starters and people getting hurt during the course of the game, and we got no excuses. They're a good team. They beat us. They beat us handily, and they're, in my opinion, as far to this juncture, they're probably the best team in the league.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Safe travels, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
With his back being hurt coming into the game, you knew we were going to get some reps today. It was just when it was that time going to come. Talk about mentally preparing and getting ready during the week of practice to get into the football game and be able to produce when you did tonight.
I just try to take advantage of every snap. Whether it's at practice or in the game, I just try to take advantage of the snap and give our team a chance every play.
Carl, I want to ask you too. We talked the other day about you came into the season, you were third string, and Coach Beckles said in the pregame interview today, you didn't treat it that way. You came in like, hey, I'm going to be the starter, and every rep I get, I'm going to be as productive as I can. We saw that over the last couple of weeks. The number of carries were increasing, the number of yards and productivity we're carrying. Finally got one and got in the end zone tonight. I know it was in a losing battle, but talk about your ability to get the more carries and more production now offensively.
I know my carries can be limited throughout the games because it's who grade out the highest every week. So I knew this week I was going to be the third back. But I knew since I had less opportunities to get more less carries, so I said I'm going to make the best out of my opportunities. But we like it like that as running back, so we compete every week. That's why you see sometimes Chun start, sometimes you see Burt start. But at the last minute of the game, we just knew we had to score. I think they threw out their second team defense at us, and I was like, no, we got to score. So that's what our mentality was, getting the end zone.
The messages in the locker room from Coach Blakely Dontrell was 3 games left. 2 games with Georgia State coming into town next week, a road trip to Idaho and ULL to wind out the season on the 29th. Couple winnable games that we can be a little more consistent on the offensive side. So talk about what you guys need to do to get ready to play next Saturday.
Main thing is getting started. We got to have better first downs, and we got to convert on third downs whenever, third and short, third and long. We got to be able to, give a better effort on third downs. If we're backed up in the chains, we got to give a better effort on second down and third down. So we can't just keep coming off the field as quickly as we are.
Carter, I want to ask you that same question too. Dontrell, I think he makes a good point. Your thoughts on being more productive on first down and putting yourself in some more manageable seconds and potential third down situations?
Yeah, we obviously got to convert third downs. because if we don't convert third downs, we put our defense right back out there on the field. You know, I honestly think our defense been doing okay. We just, as offense, we not converting third down, so we off the field too quick, and we putting them back on the field. So,
all right, Dontrell, thanks for joining us. Safe travels, and we'll see you next week. Daniel, talk about having an opportunity to play a lot more snaps tonight, too. Just a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Almost double-digit in tackles, fumble recoveries. Talk about the performance tonight.
The first thing that comes to mind is just being disappointed for Mark and knowing that he's not here, as well as the rest of the guys that we're missing. But it was exciting to get a chance to make a play, and I'm glad I was able to make some plays for the team.
Well, let's talk about this offense. It's something basically no defensive player in the country really gets to see and has a chance to play against. How difficult was it seeing it on film and going against a scout team and then actually seeing it live and in person?
You can't replicate that kind of speed and efficiency they work with, but at the same time, I still was confident in our preparation, and they just got the better of us tonight.
And Coach issued the challenge in the locker room of, we got to get some people healthy so they can get back out there and rotate in for some more snaps. But a chance to finally play 2 of the last 3 games of the season at home. How big is it to get back to Troy, get healthy, and get ready next week for Georgia State?
That's what you play for. It's everything. At this point, it's one game at a time, and we want to win one at home for our fans.
Daniel, thanks for joining us. Great game tonight, and we'll see you next week in Troy.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, that's going to do it.